الحمد لله حمد الشاكرين وإن العاقبة للمتقين وأصلي وأسلم وأبارك على أشرف الخلق والمرسلين سيدنا محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه ومن سار بسنته إلى يوم أن يلقاه سيد السادات ومعدن السعادات وصاحب الرسالات البينات والمعجزات الباهرات الشفيع في من يصلي عليه يوم الحسرات اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد ثم أما بعد يقول الله عز وجل في القرآن الكريم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم. Today's khutbah, inshallah, brothers and sisters, talk about Ramadan, inshallah. Next week, inshallah, bidnillah, we're going to have Ramadan. Ramadan is a special month. There's few things only happens in Ramadan. Allah Azza wa Jal made that month is special for him and for others as well, for all his slaves. And I'm going to talk today about things that you should not do in Ramadan. And some of you guys might not like what he's going to hear, but my job here, inshallah, to tell you al-haq. نبين الحق لأهل الحق حتى يتبعونه ونبين الباطل لأهل الحق حتى يجتنبونه. So our job is to clear up the mess and explain to you what's halal and what's haram, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And it's up to you to follow that or not. Well, what I have to do is explain to you halal and haram. So today I'm going to talk about things if you do, your siyam will not go above your head. Meaning your siyam will not reach the sky. Meaning your siyam will count as nothing. Mubtilat siyam. Things you do, your siyam doesn't count in nothing. And also in my khutbah at the end I'm going to mention things you do in Ramadan will be great for you. For this dunya and akhirah, inshallah. And I'll mention talking about them, bi'idhnillah. So first I'm going to talk about mubtilat siyam. Things you do, your siyam will be no longer good. Your siyam will not be accepted. And that's unnegotiable. All the scholars, all the ulama agreed on it. So don't try to kind of find a way, somehow it's not that way or it's not that way. So the first important thing, if you eat or drink intentionally, without an excuse, everybody knows that. So if you drink or eat intentionally, amdan, without any udhr, without an excuse. So everybody knows that's one. Now the second and most important one that a lot of people miss, and I'm going to emphasize on this one. If you don't pray, period, and if you just come to Jumu'ah, Ramadan, some of you guys will be shocked with this, but I'm going to tell you right now, all scholars agreed on this. There's no khilaf. If you don't pray in Ramadan, the whole Ramadan, you don't pray, your siyam will be folded, thrown back at your face. Will not be counted. You like it or you don't. What about hadith and ayah? How do we come up with this conclusion? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة فمن تركها فقد كفر. وفي رواية another hadith عن ابن جابر رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بين العبد والكفر ترك الصلاة. So in all the hadith Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is talking about if you leave the prayer, you're leaving the religion. Now there's more tahqiq in this, there's more details to this. If you leave it intentionally, meaning you don't believe in it, or you just don't pray it because you're lazy on it. If you're lazy on it, you're not kafir, you're still Muslim, but your siyam will not be accepted. So I'm going to tell all the brothers and sisters today, Make sure Ramadan comes in. I don't care if you prayed before Ramadan or you don't, but if you want your siyam to be accepted, you have to pray. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam fi hadith, I'm going to give you another hadith. عن ابن عمر رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أول ما يسأل عليه العبد يوم القيامة الصلاة. The first thing you'll be asked on يوم القيامة is the salah. فإن صلحت, if it's good, صلح باقي عمله. Everything else will be good. وإن فسدت, and if it doesn't go well for you, if it's bad, فسد باقي عمله. That's if it exists here. We're talking about salah if it even exists. If فسد, if it's bad. How about if it's not even exist at all? That's a different conversation. So for all the brothers and sisters here, you have to pray for your siyam to be accepted. Okay, so we talked about the first one, eating or drinking intentionally. Second thing is a prayer. Third thing is Jumu'ah, which everybody knows that. If you have your wife, you can make Jumu'ah with her during the day from Ramadan. You can do it at night, but not during the day. So those three things are big things. I want to make sure that everybody knows aware of this, specifically the number 2, the salah. Now, some brothers may say, I missed one prayer or don't miss 2 prayers. That's a different ball game. That's a different conversation. I'm talking about somebody's leaving salah completely. And he's coming for Jumu'ah. By the way, if you're just coming Jumu'ah to Jumu'ah, you're one of those ones too. Salah, leaving the salah. So your siyam for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's not be accepted. Okay? And Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his hadith, he said, his siyam will not go above his head. Meaning, he won't even go to the sky, he won't give it to Muhammad, to Allah, it will just stay here. It stays in there. And he said, وَمَا لَيْسَ بِصِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعُ وَالْعَطَشِ. All he does for his siyam is just starvation, and he's not drinking. He's not drinking, not eating. That's all he gets. And he's not getting anything for it. So make sure you follow that, inshallah. And now the things don't do, we said about those things. Now things you need to do in Ramadan. Very important right now. One important thing is sadaqah. And I want to emphasize on sadaqah here. Very, very important thing about sadaqah. And a lot of people associate sadaqah with the rizq. So, if I ask everybody today to donate $100 for the mosque, most of you guys were thinking that I'm going to lose $100 from my pocket. Or $100 for those poor people. You're always going to think in the back of your head, this money is going to taken out from my rizq, from my money. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, fi hadith sahih Muslim Bukhari, said, "Ma naqasa malun min sadaqah." Your money, your rizq will not go down from sadaqah. Now you have 2 options. You believe what you believe, or believe what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He said, "Ma naqasa," means it's not going to be short. Malun min sadaqah. If you make sadaqah, your mal is not going to be short, and rizq will be counted for. And ibadat. One more thing you need to do. So sadaqah and dhikrullah and ibadat. You need to focus on those one, inshallah. And I've mentioned a couple of things about rizq right now to connect rizq with sadaqah. So rizq. Let's talk about rizq, inshallah. I'll talk to you about a couple of things about rizq and stories about rizq, and maybe you guys can relate that to your life. So the first story I want to mention about rizq, Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam. Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam, one time he was sitting down and he saw an ant, namlatun, tasir, and she's carrying a piece of seed, wheat, small tiny one, in her mouth, tiny seed of wheat, and she was struggling carrying it. It's heavy for her, and she's carrying it through and walking through to the beach, to the ocean. Sulaiman knows something is up. He said, "Wallahi la atba'annaha." I'm going to follow her. So Sulaiman followed that ants, namla, with a tiny seed, qamh, sweet, tiny bud in her mouth, and went to the beach. As he goes to the beach, different riwayah. There's one riwayah that says a fish, another riwayah says turtle, another riwayah says a frog. Came off the ocean, opened its mouth. هذه النملة دخلت في جوف هذا الحيوان. That small ant went inside that tiny fish or frog or whatever the riwayah is saying, and went inside the ocean. Disappeared for a few hours. Sulaiman sat on the beach, patiently waited. A few hours after, هذا الحيوان, هذه السمكة أو الضفدع, the frog, the fish, whatever the case might be, that's not important, come out from the ocean, and it opens its mouth again, and that namla, the ant, come out that mouth, but this time without having that seed, without having that wheat seed, which is a tiny, tiny one. Sulaiman followed that ant. He knows something's going on. He asks his ant, "What's going on? Ma khatbuki? What's going on with you?" The ant told him, "Allah Azza wa Jal awha ilay." Allah Azza wa Jal made a mission for me. Give me awha. That take that seed of wheat, put it in your mouth, go to the ocean, and that's as far as I know. He said, "Okay, and then what happened after that?" He said, Allah Azza wa Jal awha to another person in the ocean, another animal in the ocean, which is like frog or fish, to come meet me in the front, to take me in. And as we dipped inside the bottom of the ocean, where it's so dark, you can't see none, there's a rock in there. And there's a worm stuck in that rock. Worm lives in where? In lands, usually. They don't live in the ocean. They live in the lands. But that worm got stuck in the rock, and the ocean took that rock inside. So the rock right now in the bottom of the ocean, with a worm is stuck in the middle of the rock. Who's bringing the risk for that rock, to that worm? Is that fish through the ants. So we following that. So Allah sakhara an-namla, He put the ants, delivering to that animal, to that fish, to deliver to the bottom of the ocean to that worm. Then Sulaiman asked him, "What's up with this worm? What's the special thing about this worm?" He said, "La taftaru tasbihahu." Doesn't stop making tasbih. And she said, "Subhan alladhi razaqani في جوف البحر في جوف صخرة في ظلام حالك." Say subhan to who? Send me my rizq, send me my food, send me my stuff. In the bottom of the ocean, inside the stuck rock, in a complete darkness. You see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He didn't forget about a worm in the bottom of the ocean. He's not going to forget about you, because you're better than worm. You're His favorite creation. So if He take care of worm, He will take care of you. So don't be afraid of your risk. Your risk will be there for you. And your money is calculated for you before even you're born. So don't worry about making sadaqah for the mosque or the poor people. Don't worry about doing that. Do it and not worry about faqr. Don't worry about being poor. And don't worry about your money being short or getting negative. If you believe in that, you don't believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam hadith. He said, "Ma naqasa malun min sadaqah." Muslim or Bukhari. Your money's not going to go down with your sadaqah. So that's the first story about the rizq. Another story about rizq, Dawood alayhi salam. One time a lady came to him. That lady, she has 3 orphans. She told Dawood, "Your God is not fair. Inna rabbaka zalima." Your God is not fair. Dawood answered her, "Shame on you. Wayhaki amra'a. Shame on you. How you say about Allah, He's not fair. Innahu a'dar adilin. He's the most fair." And then Dawood said, "What's wrong? Tell me the story." She said, "I have 3 orphans, ثلاثة أيتام. And for the past few weeks, we're collecting all our money here and there, nitpicking everything, taken out from us to build this beautiful rug." Another story, carpet. And then we built it and we fixed it up. As we did that, at nighttime, a bird came by. Your God sent him to us. They're talking about Him being fair. He's not fair. And that bird attacked us and took the carpet and ran away. And this carpet and this rug, we know we could have sold it for 3 dinar. We know we could sold it for 3 dinar the next day. And that would be enough for us, for our risk, for the whole month. And some way for the whole week. So God, your God, took our risk from us. How is He being fair? So that's the complaint. The lady with 3 orphans came to Dawood alayhi salam to complain about. She has a valid complaint. Dawood alayhi salam, he didn't know what to say, and he didn't have money to give her. So as he's talking to that lady and complaining about his God being not fair, 3 guys walked in, trading people. People do trading. They walk into to Dawood alayhi salam, and he said, "Dawood, it is 1,000 dinar. Give it to the needy people." Said 1,000 dinar at that time, you guys, about $100 million of our time. That's a lot of money. Nobody does that for sadaqah. So Dawood was surprised, and he told those guys, "Why are you guys donating 1,000 dinar? That's a lot of money. Dinar or 2 is plenty. Why 1,000? That's a big number." He said, "Dawood, here's the story." And the lady sitting down listening. We were in the middle of the ocean, and we had a lot of things loaded up on our ship to do trading with. They're market people. They do trading. And as we are in the middle of the ocean, خُرِقَتْ سَفِينَتُنَا. That ship got a hole in it. وَأَصْبَحَ الْمَاءُ يَغُوصُ فِيهَا غَوْصًا. And then the water came to the top. And we're about to drown with our stuff. فَعَلِمْنَا إِنَّنَا هَالِكُونَ. So we know we're about to die. And as that happening, a bird came by. It dropped on us a rug. A red one specifically. And with that, we covered that hole and we got saved. So we promised ourselves, once we get to that, whatever we sell, we're going to give it all to the needy people. Who's hearing this? The lady. So Dawood turned around to the lady. He said, well, God, you're right, he's not fair. He was your trading guy. He took the three dinar you wanted, he took it and he sold it for you for 1,000 dinar. And he gave her the 1,000 dinar. And you're right, it's not going to be enough for you for 1 month, it's going to be enough for you for the whole lifetime. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did the trading for her. كَانَ تَعْجِرُهَا. He's a trading guy for her. So another story about risk. Third story about risk, and I'm mentioning this risk for you over and over because I want you to understand that Ramadan is coming, and the most important thing you can do in Ramadan, beside dhikrullah, is being generous and give the needy people. Give your mosque, whoever mosque, doesn't have to be this mosque, any mosque. Because that's sadaqatun jariyah, which I'll explain to you what sadaqatun jariyah means. Another story, Sulaiman alayhi salam. The story not ending. Sulaiman alayhi salam, God subhanahu wa ta'ala, علم سليمان منطق الحيوان. Allah Azza wa Jal taught Sulaiman how to speak to animals. Why? Because he wanted Sulaiman to learn hikmah and wisdom from the animals. So an ant came to Sulaiman one time and he saw this ant going through the top of the mountain. And he's carrying again another piece of wheat and struggling with that. Sulaiman asked her, what are you doing? She said, I need to carry this to my house, which is on the top of the mountain. He said, okay. How many pieces it cost you need a year? She said, 2 pieces of wheat, enough for me, sufficient for me, for the whole year. Sulaiman said, I have a deal for you. I'll put you in a box, I will cover it, and I will give you 2 pieces of wheat every year. So, surely enough, he did that. He grabbed a box, put 2 pieces of wheat, as she requested, a year, enough for her. She doesn't have to carry, to go up all the way to the mountain. She's in a box, and Sulaiman kept his box in his place. Year after, he opened up the box, and he saw 1 piece of wheat still left. Ta'ajjaba Sulaiman, got surprised. He said, ants, you told me you need 2 pieces a year. You only ate 1. That's what she answered him. هذا عندما كان ربي هو الرزاق ولكني عندما اعتمدت عليك خفت أن تنساني ولكن الله لا ينساني. That's true. I need 2 a year. But what happened is, that's when I was free, when Allah was the Razzaq. He didn't forget about me, so I was not worried about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because I will eat the 2 and Allah will send me again. But when you blocked me in that box, I was relying on you. And I thought you're going to forget me. I can't trust you. I don't trust humans. I trust only Razzaq. So I ate 1 and I spent half of my year fasting because I wasn't sure about you. I can't gamble on you, but I can gamble on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So another lesson about risk. Another story, last story about risk, and I mentioned to you guys, inshallah. And the reason I'm mentioning risk again and again, Ramadan is coming. The whole point of doing this, to make sadaqah jariyah, and I'm going to tell you what you're going to get of sadaqah jariyah in Ramadan, bismillah. Another story of risk, last one. Abu Darda radiallahu anhu. There is this guy, there's an